It is pretty much impossible to always be positive, to always be in a good mood, to always be vibing completely high. They talk about monks who have spent their whole life in the monastery. They then go out into the real world and everything just comes crashing down. It's very easy when you're in a controlled environment. There's not a lot of different forces going on. Of course, you can maintain that place of homeostasis and be in that high vibe state, but that's just not the reality. We're always out there to experience new things and expand. These things are supposed to stretch us. So yes, we're going to experience the highs, we're going to experience the lows, but the key to manifesting and keeping a high vibe is to learn how to be content in all places, accept the good and the bad, the dark and the light, the yin and the yang. So learning to be content with a little money, learning to be content with a lot of money, learning to be happy when you're single, learning to be happy in a relationship, experiencing both and finding that place of acceptance. And I think that's what this life path is all about. So when I talk about being high vibe, not being around negativity, it doesn't mean that we're not allowed to experience grief and sadness and have days where we're feeling depressed, where we're on the floor crying our eyes out, where we feel like we've just been in a slump for the last few days, or we're going through a really rough season. Those are normal things, but there are very specific ways that you can walk out these unpleasantries in life that can keep you in a high vibe state and can help project you further to manifesting the right things in your life rather than bringing in the negative. So how do we keep a high vibe state despite all of the different highs and lows, the positive and the negative situations in our life? One of the biggest ways, and we've all heard of it, is gratitude. And I'm going to go a little bit deeper into what it means to me to practice gratitude. It can be simply sitting on your bed and thinking about all the wonderful things that you're grateful for. That's definitely great. I love to spend my morning prayer session doing a lot of gratitude and affirmations for the current state in my life. But what is really a very effective way is practicing gratitude in the immediate midst of your discomfort. So an example would be, say you got rejected by someone that you had romantic feelings for, right? And it really hurt. So you're home, you're on your bed crying. Rather than completely wallowing in that moment, you need to pull out one good thing from that moment. So if you were rejected by someone you had feelings for, I would pull out from that period of sadness and grief, well, at least I showed up as my authentic self. Well, at least I put myself out there. Good on me. Good on me. And the tears can be streaming down your face, but you are still saying, good on me, right? There is at least one thing that you can pull out of all these different moments. Another example is, say that you just got laid off from your job at work. And you're just really upset. You love this job. You're tight for money. How are you gonna get another job? Whatnot. You wake up in the morning and instead of waking up to your alarm and someone else's agenda, you hear the birds chirping and you wake up to the birds in the morning. And it's like, wow, I'm so grateful that I was able to be woken up by birds this morning instead of the alarm. It's finding these little silver lining moments within the depths of your despair and your bad situation that take it up a notch. And that's how I found that I can be grateful and appreciative and high vibing despite being in a place of pain. Another pro tip about how to stay high vibe when you're experiencing hardship. We've seen it on TV. Society has even conditioned us to, when we're going through a hardship, to really just kind of let everything go. Like go on an all-out party, rage fest, drink your troubles away, go out on a shopping spree and hit 'em up style, and just throw all of the good things you were doing out the door as well. That is honestly the opposite thing of what you want to do, despite what you may be feeling. When you are going through a place of darkness and pain and sadness, it is even more imperative for you to treat yourself the best way possible. So when I'm going through a tough day, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna make myself the most delicious fruity tooty smoothie. I'm gonna make myself this amazing salad with a good protein, cheese, homemade dressing, my most favorite nourishing foods. I'm gonna go out on that walk with my dog, and I'm gonna take an extra long walk. I'm gonna do a super spicy yoga session. I'm gonna do an extra long meditation. I'm gonna go out dancing to my favorite music with my friends, right? I may have a time where I am on my bed crying, letting it out, letting those emotions pass through, but rather than ruminating in the sadness and the depths of despair, I pick myself up because I've released, and then it's time to go out and continue on. So that's my best advice for you, is to not ruminate in the sadness. It's to take care of yourself and treat yourself the way you want to be treated. Because if no one else is treating you the way you want to be treated, and then you turn on yourself, that's just going to bring you down even more. Another way to stay super high vibe so that you can manifest amazing, beautiful things in your life. It is all about consumption. We are consuming creatures in this world. So we take in everything from all of the senses, including energetically as well. So that's like the sixth sense, the intuitive sense. And so we're constantly taking in all of these different things. So you kind of want to do a survey of your life and see what percentage of your day are you consuming positive things. As in, what are you looking at? What are you listening to? What are you eating? What are you drinking? What are you inhaling? What people are you around? Obviously, some of these situations are uncontrollable depending on if we work in an office with toxic people or we have a toxic home situation. But there are things that we have control of based on our consumption. So if you're around a lot of toxic people, then the social media and the TV and movies that you should be consuming and the music should be very uplifting and high vibes so that you can try to balance that out. You don't want to be going from a very dramatic home situation or a dramatic relationship and then watching all this trashy drama on TikTok and TV. That's just like a recipe for disaster. You need to balance that out by listening to an uplifting podcast, high frequency music with the solfeggio tones. Maintaining a positive attitude and staying high vibe, it's not always possible, right? We experience a lot of highs and lows. We're in this world of dichotomy. So we're going to experience the good and the bad, and we're meant to, so that we can grow. Learning to stay content regardless of what situation you're in is a learned practice. And because of that, when emotions come up and they're negative, that is a sign for us to process through them. It is an indicator, just like a physical pain in the body is an indicator something is wrong. You need to go check that out and see what's up. When an unpleasant emotion comes up, that's your body telling you, hey, something internally is not right. You need to pause for a moment and go inward and see what is wrong and what needs to be sorted out. The issue is a lot of us from severe trauma are avoiding feeling things. And as soon as these negative emotions come up, we do everything in our power to run the other way and avoid them because it's too painful. However, this type of behavior exacerbates that pain because even if you're trying to run away from it, cover it up, jam-pack your schedule and be busy or use substances, it's a rug covering a huge pile of crap, basically. And so you're not really numbing the pain. I mean, numbing only works to the point you become immune to the numbing agent. And at least for me, that happened quite quickly. And then I ended up having to face everything because it all came crashing down at me at once. It was like do or die. So it's very important that we take time to process through our emotions. So process through them does not mean sit there and ruminate and ruminate and ruminate. You need to actually come to a place where you have stopped the story in your mind, the story that's running on autopilot, where instead you've sat down and you've been like, wait, hold on, storyteller, hold on, ego. Why am I feeling this way? And you start to question that, and you start to think through that, contemplate through that. This is why meditation is so good, because it literally gives you the space to do that. Meditation is not about clearing your mind. It's about processing through all of your thoughts so that then you can clear them out. And one day you will have a clear mind. But that's a whole nother episode. So, very important to process through your emotions.